vertical hope today from Faith Builders Ministries. I was reading in the book of Job, and I'm telling you what, he went through it. The book of Job says that the enemy came to God and says, you know what? Sure, Job will serve you and worship you. I mean, look at him. He has everything. He has all these oxen and sheep and donkeys and servants and children, and he's just blessed of the land. But what if all that got taken away with? What he would deny you? And I want to tell you what, I was astonished while I was reading it. I mean, Job, the enemy did come in, and I mean, he struck him and struck him hard. And God said, you can do anything to my son Job, but you cannot kill him. Well, he did. He wiped out his sheep, his oxen, his donkey, all his servants, all 10 children. And then he struck him with ooze and goose and sores all over his body that Job just sat there and scratched with clay pots. His wife says, why don't you just curse God and die? His friends turned against him. I mean, Job had gone through it. But I'll tell you what, in Job 42:5, I ran across something astonishing. And this is what I ran across. After all of that happened to Job, this is what he said. He says, you know what? My ears have heard of him. My ears have heard of him. But now my eyes see him. Oh my goodness. Now his eyes seen God. That's amazing. He said, I hear of him. I've heard of him all this time. But now that I've gone through him, my very eyes have seen him. It's been a witness to him. And I want to tell you, I can relate to that. You may think, wow, but I'm telling you, in my life, I was molested and raped and held at gunpoint, held hostage in my own home, tied up and left in a ditch, spit at, shot at, I have gone through it physically, mentally, verbally, and sexually abused for more than half my life. And I grew up knowing and hearing that there was a God. My grandmother was a mighty woman of God. My Aunt Linda still is a very mighty woman of God. She is a preacher. I had heard of God. And for about 4 years in my early years of my life, my mom was married to a man, and she took us down to the little Methodist church, and there were seeds being sown. And I'll tell you what, my ears had heard there was a God. And if they hadn't, I wouldn't have known to pray during all those terrifying moments in my life. But it was at the end of this, it was when I was looking in the rearview mirror of my life that my eyes could truly see my God. I could truly see where he was in every situation. And I'll tell you this, when I speak at conferences, or whether people read my book and then approach me afterwards, I get a lot of comments, but one that I just quite don't get is this one question. And people will come up to me and they'll go, oh, Michelle, where was God during all that? And I want to tell you, I just say it with so much passion in my heart. Where was he not? I can't think of a time he was not there. I was tied up and left in a ditch, for heaven's sakes, when the whole amusement park closed. Where wasn't he? My uncle raped me. My aunt and uncle got a hold of me when I was a baby. There's some terrifying things, and I am thinking, bless God, I didn't die. Bless God. He was there. So I can relate to this when Job says, you know what? Before all this drama in my life, or before all this trauma in my life, you know what? Before this horror story to a glory story happened in my life, my ears had heard. But I'll tell you now, my eyes see my God. And I just want to encourage you today. You may have been going through some things, and you may question yourself, where was God? Where was God when I was raped? Where was God when my marriage fell apart? Where was God when I lost my child? I'm going to tell you with every better being in me, he has never forsaken you. He has never forsaken you. He has never forsaken me. And I am testifying to his goodness. Oh, sure, I've had some things go wrong in my life, and there's been some trials, but my God has never left my side, nor has he ever forsaken me. And the hope for you today is what he'll do for me. Woo-hoo! He will do for you. Amen. That's your hope for today. So bless God. He will never leave you. Amen. Amen. Bye-bye.